The quickening is upon us. All around the world right now, we see wars, we see disease, we see protests and demonstrations, violence in the street. Everything is starting to pick up speed. It's getting faster and faster. It's been on this trajectory for a long time, and now it's really starting to kick in. Let's get shady, y'all. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Jim Shady and welcome to the Shady Zone. I appreciate you subscribing, appreciate you doing all the YouTube stuff. If it is your first time here, then please, if you would, go up, click on that subscribe button, maybe hit the bell icon where you get notifications when we do new videos. Go down, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment in the comment section. It helps the channel grow. It helps other people find the channel, and I do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, I want to start this off by telling you guys something that I've told you before on the channel. Back in the 1990s, there was an overnight radio talk show host named Art Bell. And he hosted one of the most popular shows on radio at the time, called Coast to Coast AM. Now, Art went into everything on this radio show, from witches to werewolves to vampires to the Antichrist to astrophysics. If it was out there and it was kind of weird and wacky, he covered it. And the show was just immensely popular during the day. And one of the things about Art was he was a techie. He was just a nut over technology. You have to understand that back in the 1990s, the internet was basically just this young budding thing. It was new. I mean, there were things on the internet back then that were free, that you didn't have to pay for. Okay, we've come a long way since the 1990s, but Art Bell was on top of all of that. He understood technology. He understood how to market himself. He was basically a pioneer in the whole talk show, podcast, YouTube video, the whole nine yards. If it was out there, Art would do it. I think he was one of the first people. He had a website, and he would broadcast live. He would broadcast his show live, and he didn't have like YouTube now, but he did have an in-studio camera where he would take pictures of the broadcast as it was going on. Now, Art also wrote a book, and the name of that book was The Quickening. Now, if you have watched this channel before, then you know I have talked about The Quickening before. Art said that as time progressed, and as this new technology that we have, or had at the time, as it started to grow, that things would start to get faster and faster and faster. Communication, instantaneous communication, instantaneous news. Now, that was a good thing in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways it was a bad thing. Simply because anybody, me, you, anybody out there, could post anything that they wanted to on the internet, and it would go out to the entire world just like that. And with it happening that fast, sometimes, it's kind of hard to tell what's true and what's not true. I wanted to start this video out with something just a little off the cuff, a little little weird. I got an email the other day. Actually, I got a message, and the person did not want to publicize their name, but it was concerning the mass shooting in Maine and this Robert Card guy who did it. And it really got me to thinking about a lot of things and wondering a lot of things. So I started actually taking a look at this mass shooting and the person that did it. Now, Robert Card was a 40-year-old firearms instructor. He was an Army reservist, and I believe he was a veteran too. I believe he was in the actual Army as well. As I was told, and I have verified a lot of this, there's a couple of things that I can't verify about it, but I'm going to put it out there so maybe one of you might dig off into it and find out more information on it. If you do, please post it in the comments below. It's appreciated. But as I said, Robert Card was a 40-year-old Army reservist. He was a firearms instructor, and he had a hearing disability. According to what his sister-in-law, I believe her name was Katie Card, and she turned out to be a wealth of information on this because she was telling the press everything. But according to his sister-in-law, Katie, Robert was a good guy. He was, just basic guy. He got a new set of hearing aids. And when he got these hearing aids, he said he started to hear voices through the hearing aids, in his head, I don't know. But he claimed that he was hearing voices. He claimed that he could hear what other people were saying about him. And according to his sister-in-law, he would actually get angry, if you mentioned anything about it was just in your head or it was anything like that. He would actually get angry and upset over this. All of this I've confirmed. All of this I've researched and looked at, and this is all true. But what my source told me the other night via email was that Robert actually got these hearing aids through the VA. And as I said, as it's been reported, he starts hearing voices. He claims that he could hear what other people were saying about him. The man had been institutionalized for 2 weeks over the summer, and someone had commented to me that he had self-checked himself in. I don't know if that's true or not. But he just spiraled out of control from everything that I can figure out, from everything that I can see, from everything that I have read. Robert just sort of spiraled out of control until he took a rifle and he walked into a bar and he walked into a bowling alley. I think it was a restaurant, not a bar, but he walked into these two places. He killed 18 people and injured 13. Now, the thing that I can't confirm about this, as I said, is that the VA are the ones who gave him these hearing aids. It seems strange to me. Something's just a little odd about it, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But he, like so many other mass shooters, he committed the crime, he committed the murders, he went on the run briefly, and law enforcement, when they found him, he'd already killed himself. Now, how many of these mass shooting incidents do we have where the perpetrator does the deed, goes out, shoots people, goes on the run for a little bit, and then by the time law enforcement find them, they've already killed themselves? if what I suspect is true, there's something underlining these mass shootings that we're having here in this country. There's some thing that is connecting these things. Um, was Robert just psychotic? Was he paranoid schizophrenic? Was it a malfunction with the hearing aids? Or was this some kind of, oh, I don't know, MK Ultra experiment, a Manchurian candidate kind of thing that these people, these people did with Robert? If you look at it, it sure sounds to me like, you know, maybe there's some kind of connection to all these mass shootings that nobody's telling us about. Maybe there's some kind of connection that, why did my camera just blinked off? Oh, well, I hope I'm still 5x5. Anyway, maybe there is some kind of connection that we're not hearing about, they're not telling us about. Maybe this is some kind of MK Ultra experiment that they're doing just to help disrupt the country. Something to ponder and think about anyway. And if you guys find out anything, please let me know. Leave it in a comment below. Shoot me an email, theshadyzone@gmail.com. Let me know what you find out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, moving on to other things. All across the country right now, these massive pro-Hamas protests are starting up. They're going on in some of the bigger cities. And some of these things are getting pretty darn violent, honestly, from everything that I have heard. In Dearborn, Michigan, there was a protest with over 2,000 of these anti-Israeli protesters marching in the street. New York City, we've already looked at that one. They basically took over Wall Street. They shut down, what was it, Grand Central Station, you know. And these protests are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more violent, and there's going to be more and more of them as this war between Israel and Palestine continues and grows worse. You have to remember, Israel has just now started going in to Gaza. They have just now started pushing through and doing a ground attack in Gaza. The Eisenhower Carrier Group on, I believe it was October the 28th, just a couple of days ago, passed through the Strait of Gibraltar, entered the Mediterranean Sea, and is on its way to Israel right now. This will make the second carrier group that is poised in international waters off the coast of Israel. And they are saying that the purpose of these carrier groups is to make sure that nobody else interferes with what's going on between Israel and Palestine. However, you have Iran, who is rattling sabers like you would not believe right now. I think it was either the president or the Shah or whoever of Iran had made a statement the other day that Iran is tired of the United States blaming them for what is going on in Israel right now. And that's almost funny to me that this guy stands there and says that y'all need to stop accusing us of doing it when it is proven that it is their money that is backing the entire thing. And it's our money that's propping up their money that's backing this entire operation. They are funding Hamas. And Biden, what was it, $6 billion that they sent to him, $8 billion that they freed up in Iran. Iran took that money, went straight into doing this for Hamas. And now we're hearing Syria is starting to rattle some sabers. The United States has got carrier groups parked outside in international waters to keep other countries from interfering in this, and yet our bases, our military installations, have been hit something like 12 times, if I'm not mistaken, over the past couple of weeks by rocket fire. They've been attacked 12 times over the past couple of weeks. That the whole situation in the Middle East is going down the toilet in a hurry. All right, it is declining rapidly, and we're going to start seeing this. This ties back into the demonstrations that I was talking about just a minute ago. This is all going to start speeding up. I said it in another video that as soon as Israel, for real, goes in to Palestine, goes into Gaza with a ground attack, that's when we're going to begin to see a lot of things start popping off. I have not watched much of the news this morning or today because I've been working on this, but things are looking pretty darn grave over there right now, folks. And hey, y'all, let's not forget about Russia and Ukraine. I mean, there was a Russian airport that got overrun by a pro-Hamas group of demonstrators over the weekend. And of course, Putin is blaming Ukraine and the United States for the mob and shutting down the airport and all that stuff. They are also talking to their counterparts in Syria about just what to do with it. So Russia is not only fighting Ukraine, which America supports, but now they're starting to pay attention because it's coming home to them. They're starting to pay attention to what's going on in Palestine and Israel. They're starting to watch that war because we support Israel. Of course, the United States denied any kind of involvement in it, any sort of interaction with what happened. But see, this whole Middle Eastern thing it's spreading. Okay, it's spreading, and it's not going to be long. As I said earlier, it's not going to be long until it just gets completely, totally out of control. I believe everybody, the entire world, is going to eventually end up getting sucked into this. But as you can see, if you turn on your news, if you go to YouTube, if you go to any sort of social media platform, things are happening very, very quickly now, folks. They're happening so quickly that we can't keep up with them. My advice to you right now, if you have not already, you need to start stocking up. This is going to be a long, dark, cold winter, folks. If America goes boots on the ground into this conflict, we're going to see things that we haven't seen since World War II. Rationing, shortages, power outages, the whole 9 yards, the draft coming back. Okay? If you live in a big city right now, I'm going to tell you the same thing that everybody else has been telling you. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You keep your awareness at a peak, your situational awareness at a peak. You keep your head on a swivel. If you have a self-defense tool, keep that with you. Okay? Don't just look out for yourself either. Look out for other people. Pay attention to everything that's going on around you. I said this in another video. Advice is still good. Avoid large crowds. Avoid large gatherings of people. I know that there's a lot of you. My daughter just went to the Broncos-Chiefs game Sunday. It would have been my advice not to go, but I love the Chiefs, so I would have probably went anyway. I would not have followed my own advice. Start stocking up. You know, throw yourself some food, some water and stuff off to the side. If you're a coffee drinker, get you some coffee stocked up. the principal basic preps that you can do. Okay? And y'all take care of yourselves. Keep your ears to the ground. Keep your head up. Keep your neck on a swivel. Pay attention to what is going on. Until next time, God bless. Y'all take care. And stay shady.